All right, all right, all right. Good morning. Good morning to my Cafecito colleagues, my Cafecito crew, my extrovert therapist. Today is going to be a very special day on Cafecito con Colón. Bienvenidos. I am thrilled you're here. It is great to see you. This is going to be an amazing morning in support of the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico, SHC and I'm thrilled you're here. We're going to give folks time to jump on and catch us here live on Facebook for this annual event. They've never done it before here, but today we are honored, pleased, and privileged to be hosting Steve Ross, the Executive Director of the Supportive Housing Coalition, and his team. We've got lots of guests here. We're going to ask everybody to mute right now so that everybody can hear. Thank you, Lori, for reminding everybody to mute out that is tuned in via Zoom. We got lots of guests right here on Cafecito con Colón, and I am going to really see who's making some noise in the background here so we can get them muted out and you can all hear me just a little more clearly this morning. But here, we're going to give folks a couple more minutes to join us. It is great to see you, Carlos, and I see Christina's over there. Great to have you on Cafecito con Colón this morning for a very special event. So people are going to keep streaming in here, and we're going to let them do that here for another moment, and then we're going to get started.
It's going to be a good morning, and thank you, Brian. Great day for SHC.
Indeed, it is going to be an amazing day. I was able to mute James out. Thank you for pointing that out. We're so thrilled everybody's here. We've got some great guests like Steve Ross and Lori Frappier, May Perez, Paul Mondragon, Pat Nye, Josh Smith, Leroy Thompson, all these phenomenal sponsors that for a long time now have been standing tall with the Supportive Housing Coalition. Now, if you're online there, good morning, Dr. Lawrence Roybal. Good to see you this morning. I am thrilled you're able to join us on Cafecito con Colón. It is the 27th day of April. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we are making progress every day. It is 9:02. We're going to give it one more minute for folks to get on board with us before we get the program started. It is great to have Cristina Chavarria with us from Condado de Santa Fe, here in the land of enchantment, the Tierra del Encanto, the 47 star on the beautiful flag of the United States of America. We have got an event in store for you that is going to rock your socks off. It is a beautiful day brought to you by great folks like our presenting sponsor, Bank of America. We've also got Wells Fargo standing tall, P&M. I mean, we've got just some great community anchors that say this is the vehicle to support affordable housing in New Mexico. And I'm so thrilled that they've been able to stand with SHC for so long and then to stand with us this morning on Cafecito con Colón. Good morning, Rosella Aaron Chisholm Trail RV, always standing with me in my philanthropy here in New Mexico, making a difference as we hashtag lift up NM. So spread that hashtag lift up New Mexico. We're going to get it done together. Lots of great comments out here, but I'm not able to keep up with all of them. I got so much stuff going on here. I got this screen, I got that screen. I got Steve Ross's $1 million smile with his terracotta brick road behind him. You're going to learn about the terracotta brick road soon enough, because I got to tell you, Aleli and I are very pleased to be able to be a sponsor of one of the bricks on that terracotta brick road to the Supportive Housing Coalition's mission. That's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to bring some folks to camera here in just a second. It's 9:03. I want to just get everything set here. You've got some questions, you can put them in the chat. I think I've got folks monitoring our chat. We've got folks monitoring the Facebook page. So if you got questions, you'll be able to find links in the chat there, Facebook Live, so that you can support the Supportive Housing Coalition with your contributions today. We've got a silent auction going on. You can actually bid on lunch with the state auditor. I know him, he's a great guy. He's the one that picks up the check at the end, but it may not be the venue of your choice. I like to go to Barelas and Duran's, the pharmacy. I've got lots of great venues here. We got Vic's Daily. We got lots of great places to go to lunch. Lots of local restaurateurs who have made it through this pandemic and are doing a great job being COVID safe. So bid on that lunch with the state auditor. That would be me. I'm buying, you're bidding. And while you do that, you get to support the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico. So welcome to the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico's annual Welcome Home fundraiser. I have been thrilled to be a part of this fundraiser in years past, and we've done it in person. We've seen the great work that Court does. Court's a great community partner with the Supportive Housing Coalition. They set up these wonderful bedrooms that they sponsor for families who are transitioning to housing. And it is just beautiful. You can support that work by bidding today in the silent auction. But we've also got a great opportunity for you to just text some cash. Text some cash. It's going to be awesome. Check this out. You're going to text 44321. You know, sometimes those 5-digit numbers are hard to remember. This one's easy. Fácil. So here you're going to know. You're going to text home for good to 44321. 44321, home, the number 4, good, and you'll be able to make that contribution right online as we're here today. If you make a $100 contribution today, we're going to make sure that you get your very own Cafecito con Colón mug. So we have been supporting this work and the mission of the Supportive Housing Coalition for 25 years. If you haven't stood with them before, you get to do it during their silver anniversary. You know, this is Aleli and I's silver anniversary too. We're celebrating 25 years in our marriage on October 10th or on August 10th. Do not tell her I said October 10th. October is when Rafael was born a year later, but August 10th is our 25th anniversary, and this is the silver anniversary for the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico. And today you get an opportunity to support their incredible mission of ending homelessness for good. And that's where you can put home for good to 44321 or go to the website shcnm.org. Somebody drop that in the links for me there. shcnm.org/welcome home. shcnm.org/welcome home. And folks can go on there. Let me know in the chat during the show if you're going to join me with that $100 contribution, because if you do that, I want to get you your own Cafecito con Colón mug. Let me just say, the Supportive Housing Coalition ends homeless permanently by providing housing that's affordable, permanent, and supportive. Wraparound services, folks that are setting up others for success. Without a home, you and I both know it's nearly impossible to do all the things we need to do, like feed our families, hold down a job, go to school, or simply be able to lay our head on a pillow at night, like I did last night, and be able to wake up refreshed the next morning. So today we're going to take some time to learn about that incredible work of the Supportive Housing Coalition. And I got some great guests with me to be able to educate us. As I get ready to pin them on, folks have said, look, why do you seem to have an overrepresentation of the work you do when it comes to providing housing in our community and home and food security? And I just want to start out by being very clear why that is. And I'm going to bring some folks on as I talk a little bit about this. I think I've got Lori there now. And let me see, I'm looking for Paul. I think I'm going to bring Paul on right now. Paul Mondragon, the president of Bank of America, one of my dear friends. Paul, you with me this morning?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning to you, buddy. I am so thrilled you're with me. Thank you for being with me. I want to just say that this morning, when we're talking about the Supportive Housing Coalition, you should know that for me, it's personal. This isn't just because SHC reached out to me. It's because I've got the lived experience of many folks who experience homelessness and a lack of food security in New Mexico. You know, I grew up like many families in New Mexico in poverty. I also know that, you know, when I buried my father, he was 49 years old. I didn't have a single blood relative in New Mexico from that moment on. I only had organizations and community leaders who decided to invest in me and fill the gap. I know what it is to be a young man who relies on people like Sonia and Yvonne, because I needed a couch to spend the night. I didn't have housing. And I remember having my bag, and I remember them letting me stay on their couch down in Las Cruces when I was a student at New Mexico State University. So when I talk about housing security today, I just want each of you to know that for me, it's personal. For me, I know this story. I know the impact that the work that the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico does. I know it makes a difference. And I know how it changes lives. And so I just wanted to share that with you this morning so that you know, for me, this isn't just another episode of Cafecito con Colón. For me, it's personal. When I talk about building that terracotta road to the mission that supports the Supportive Housing Coalition, for me, it's personal. So let me see. I need to bring a couple other folks on here. Lori, you've got your hand raised. Talk to me.
Yes, apparently the Facebook live stream is not public.
That is so disappointing. When I look at it, it asks folks to tune in now. It looks like it was only public to my 5,000 friends. And I apologize, but like literally it was only public to my friends. I am so sorry about that. We're gonna share it now public so people see it hitting the feed a couple of times there. I'm glad we got that taken care of. Facebook just changed how you run from Zoom to Facebook Live. It has these automatic presets, and I guess the preset is now gone instead of from public to just your friends. So take note of that. There's your tip of the day if you do Zoom to Facebook Live. And Lori, let me know if you get a couple texts. Give me a thumbs up at some point here.
I think
Okay,
it's working now, but you may need to, do your intro again.
I can do that. Let me just welcome everybody again. For those of you that just tuned in, we are now public. I was making this an exclusive event for those who were friends of mine on Facebook, but we have opened it up to the world now because we cannot keep the secret that is the Supportive Housing Coalition. It is no secret. Their mission is incredible. It changes lives. It changes families for generations to come. Families like mine, when I was somebody who needed to find a couch to sleep on at night because I didn't have permanent housing, my friends, organizations like the Supportive Housing Coalition in New Mexico stepped up and filled the gap, and I'm forever grateful. Today, we're going to be able to host their 25th anniversary, and we're going to be able to celebrate that anniversary with their Welcome Home event. We got lots of great partners and shareholders in the work of the Supportive Housing Coalition, and they've joined me today. I've got Steve Ross, who is the leader, the executive director, the phenomenal visionary at the Supportive Housing Coalition. Good morning, Steve Ross. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning, Brian, and thank you very much. We're so delighted to be part of Cafecito de Colón and to raise money for SHC and to help people get housed. Thank you again, and thanks to everybody who's joining us.
You betcha. You betcha. It's an honor to have you with me, and it's thrilling to be able to host this event today. We've got Lori, who really does their outreach and allows people to put their resources where their passion is. She's not a fundraiser. She is somebody who invites people to serve their passion points with their resources. And if your passion point is providing housing security and for doing housing first with wraparound services, you got to put your resources today behind the SHC. And if you do, you're going to get your Cafecito con Colón mug. All you got to do is make a $100 contribution, put it in the chat there, and Lori's going to connect you up. Good morning, Lori. Good to see you this morning.
Morning, Brian. Thanks so much for hosting us today. We're so excited. And you're right. I am passionate about ending homelessness and the mission of supportive housing. Thank you.
You betcha. You betcha. We get to our sponsors. I think we got a couple sponsors we want to hear from this morning. We have with us Paul Mondragon, the president of Bank of America, New Mexico, and they focus a lot on improving the lives of individuals and families, and they're well known for supporting efforts to build and preserve, so important, that's affordable and supportive housing. And there's a difference between doing one or the other, and at the Supportive Housing Coalition, they bring those worlds together to bring affordable and supportive housing to become a reality. Bank of America is our Welcome Home presenting sponsor today. Welcome, Paul Mondragon, Mr. President.
Hey, thank you, Brian. So happy to be here today. Great to be with Steve and Lori and Supportive Housing Coalition. You said it, this is something that we believe in very deeply, and I'm honored to be here as your guest today. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Not only are you my guest today, you're a dear friend of mine, and it has really been a pleasure and a beautiful thing in my life to have your family be a part of mine. So Paul, I'm thrilled you're here. We're also joined today by Pat Nye. We talk about some of the great stakeholders in our community, and it feels like we so often look to our leaders in lending and community engagement. And Pat Nye is such an expert when it comes to community relations, and Wells Fargo is lucky to have her at the helm. Wells Fargo is committed to matching up to $5,000 today. $5,000, but it's a match, folks. So we got to give the $5,000. I will tell you that Aleli and I are in for a brick on that terracotta road to serve the mission of the Supportive Housing Coalition. So we are $250 into that match already, thanks to my wife giving me the green light and saying, yes, Brian, we can buy a brick to support the Supportive Housing Coalition in New Mexico. Pat Nye has brought that $5,000 check, but we got to raise $5,000 to get that out of Pat's very generous hands. Housing affordability is a key focus area for Wells Fargo. This is part of their core values. It's a part of who they are as a community leader. They've been a strong supporter of SHC's efforts to build and maintain affordable housing in New Mexico for years. So Pat and I'm thrilled you're here.
Good morning, Brian. Happy to be here, and congratulations to Supportive Housing on their 25th year, and hope everyone opens their pocketbooks today.
Well, I hope so too. And I know that we need them to do that if we're going to make sure and get that $5,000. You're putting up $5,000 today, right?
That is correct.
All right. Well, we're going to try and get every one of those $5,000 right out of the bank. We're going to get Wells Fargo to turn that over to us. And I just want you to, folks, I want you to put in the chat if you're stepping up with a pledge. You can do that text 44321. But I want you to put in the chat there. Thank you, Lynn Troyon, for being with us today. She's a huge fan of Pat. She's a huge fan of Paul's. And I bet she's also a huge fan of Joshua Smith. Joshua, I don't have you to camera, but I hope you can hear me. You doing okay this morning, Josh?
Good morning, Brian. Yes, thanks for having us. Washington Federal was very happy to support the Supportive Housing Coalition, and I'm happy to be here. But man, I want to have a little of whatever you're drinking this morning, because you got it going on this morning, Brian.
Hey, I appreciate that, and I've only had my I've already had my one mistake of the day, and I'm hoping that we're still going to hit our $10,000 goal this morning, because we got to do that. And I don't want to be the one that blew that by having it go just to my friends here. Although my friends are pretty generous, we wanted this feed to go out to the world. So I'm hoping we got some good coverage and good traction out there, because Joshua Smith is a great leader in the New Mexico division for WAFED. He is a great leader. Washington Federal, they're doing some new branding. If I remember correctly, they got a big sign going up downtown. Am I right about that, Joshua?
Yeah, the WAFED Bank building downtown lit up last week. So yeah, we're super excited to have a loan production office down there opening in, well, to be determined, but soon. Let's just say that.
Excellent. Well, I got to tell you, I like the lights up there. And again, a great anchor in our community, WAFED. Thank you for making it a priority to support programs and causes that help provide affordable housing. I know you also have two other core areas of competency and focus, and that is in healthcare and job growth. And the only way we can address the issue of healthcare and job growth in New Mexico is to make sure that we have wraparound services and housing. So Josh Smith, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Hey, I also spotlighted Lori Roach. Good morning with P&M Outreach. You got a good, strong virtual background game going on this morning.
Thanks, Brian. I love your energy, and that's what PNM's all about, energy, and then also supportive housing. So thank you. You
betcha. I'm glad you're here. Hey, let me just with us today, we have Steve Ross. First up, he's the executive director of this incredible SHC. Steve's a longtime nonprofit leader. I've known him for years. He's got a heart of gold, and just thrilled that he's with us. He's a nationally ranked senior athlete in 2 sports, not just one. Steve never just does enough. He does enough and a little bit more. So he's nationally ranked in discus and shot put. He's got that upper body strength that just brings it to the table and crushes it. Steve Ross, you're the best.
Well, thank you, Brian. Gee, that's quite an introduction. I really appreciate that. And as my wife would tell you, we call that a geezer jock. So that's kind of my new labeling. Anyway, we're delighted to be here and have you leading us through today. And I'm really thankful again for our key sponsors that we just heard from. So Paul Mondragon with the Bank of America, and Pat Dye with Wells Fargo, and of course, Josh Smith with Washington Federal. And without leaving PNM out also as well, and Lori represents PNM. So we've got a great group here today. And with me is our chair of our fundraising committee, one of our board members, Mary Perez, who also serves as executive director of the UNM Psychiatric Center. And that's another great partnership we have with UNM with behavioral health. So we've got Mary here who's going to join in. And as we go through this, first we'd like to present to everybody our 2020 annual donor report. So we're going to be sharing this with you. We've got something here that'll come up with our slides. And within this, we'll also be able to express our mission. You've already heard this. Our mission, simply put, is to end homelessness for good. And we do that by providing permanent, supportive, affordable housing to individuals and families experiencing homelessness. And everybody here today that's supporting this is making this happen. We couldn't do this without all of you, and our donors are just critical to this whole thing. So at this point, I believe we've got some slides that'll come up.
You bet. Let me
You can share with everybody to give you a good visual as Mary and I kind of take you through this.
We're not there yet.
Let me just, Lori, let me just
Jump in.
jump in here real quick, because I got a note and they said, don't miss this, Brian, because not only are we discussing the importance of SHC's mission with our guests from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Washington Federal. Bank of America's presenting sponsor today has made it all possible with their donations going directly to support SHC's mission. Wells Fargo is matching up to $5,000 today. And then also WAFED is leading the charge with another $5,000 worth of foundation support. So I just really appreciate that. Paul, I want to give you a quick opportunity before we get to our next spot. I wanted to give you an opportunity to say just a few words and tell us a little bit about why Bank of America is standing so tall to be our presenting sponsor today.
Thank you, Brian. Really appreciate that. For Bank of America, it comes down to what we call responsible growth. So we have to deliver for our teammates, our clients, and our communities. And then as we do that, that's going to circle back and become this virtual cycle of taking care of our shareholders, and the bank will continue to be able to do what we do, making financial lives better for our customers. So again, getting back to responsible growth, that's what we do. We know we have to help our communities. We've got several different ways that we help the people get into homes, whether it's with grants for down payment assistance, whether it is something like Supportive Housing Coalition, where we are helping to support those that are currently unhomed. We're all in it for our communities, and so we're happy to be here today. Thank you.
That's awesome. We're going to spend a little more time talking. I just, as the presenting sponsor, wanted to put you front and center there to get us open. And I'm going to come back to you and Pat and I think also Josh. We'll spend a little more time with you, asking a couple more questions about your mission and this work. So with that, I think I'm going to just spotlight Lori as Steve was passing it off to her, because we've got some slides to show everybody about the incredible folks who stepped up large to make sure that today could be possible. So Lori, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. Hopefully everybody can see the screen. I'm just here to thank our sponsors for today. So these are people who have already stepped up to support the mission of SHC for its Welcome Home event. And these people are not strangers to SHC and have always supported us and have decided to put their efforts behind Welcome Home. So first, of course, hold on. We have Bank of America as our presenting sponsor, and they have made this possible. All the video production, our media ads, everything that we've been doing to promote the event is thank you to Bank of America for making today possible. Wells Fargo, as you have heard, is matching up to $5,000 today. So we really need you to step up. Actually, if you have until Thursday to donate, but today's our biggest day, right? So let's move forward. WAFED Bank has been very generous again with a grant, and they're considered our room sponsor today. And again, but that's 2 room sponsorships because they're also at the $5,000 level. In addition to that, we have our silent auction partner, Court Furniture, who we will hear from later in the program. We have our key sponsors that include Davis Kitchens, that's Steve King and Margie Rust, P&M, TNC Management, and Thomas Development Company. So thank you so much to our key sponsors. In addition to that, we have some foundation and brick sponsors that include Design Concepts and Solutions. Jim Ritson is on the call today. John Myers, who's also on the call today. I think everybody is. Janelle and Jeff Rookhauser, Aleli and Brian, me and my husband, Ruth Juarez, Ryan Knight, and Mary Perez, who are all board members, as well as John Myers. Of course, Stephen Angel, United Healthcare, and Kathy Sumbry Wilkins, also another board member. So these are people who are well behind our mission.
So Lori, those are the folks that are paving the terracotta road to SHC's mission that's been going on for 25 years. help us
Correct.
pave the road by stepping up and sponsoring a brick today.
Thank you so much.
You
And
bet. Look,
I'd like to interrupt for just a second. I just wanted to, there's been some stuff in the chat. Paul has donated $250. Linda has bought a silent auction gift box, and Lori is already bought some note cards and bidding on lots of stuff. So excitement is building.
that is awesome. That is awesome. We're going to come back to these title sponsors that made today possible. So I'm going to be looking here. I've got Paul here, and I want to bring back Pat. Pat and I. Where's Pat and I? I've got Pat and I out here really close by, I'm sure. Pat, are you still with me? I lost you, Pat. And I'm looking for Pat and Joshua. I want to have a quick visit with them before we go on to our next set here. I want them to talk a little bit about why this is so important to their organizations. Anybody see Pat?
I actually saw in the notifications that that she had dropped, so I'm
She did.
not sure. Yeah.
I'm so sad. I really like Pat. And
She'll
so
probably
does,
pop back in. Pat is
I hope
great.
so. I hope so. Well, if Josh or Pat stop by, I've got Josh. Josh, why don't
Hello.
you come to camera? I'm bringing you to screen here.
Well, I'm back on. So we had a fire alarm go off during this because that's what happens during COVID.
You know, Josh, housing's important, and fire safety is right up there too. So we want to just make sure that you're safe. Josh, I'm going to let you go real quick here. I think you probably ought to pay attention to the matter at hand there, but maybe just a quick parting thought about why is SHC so special to you and your tremendous organization as you've stepped up, not just in downtown by putting your name on lights, but you've written the check today for the Supportive Housing Coalition in New Mexico. Talk to us just real quick, Josh.
Yeah, so Washington Federal Foundation is the distributive arm of our grants, and housing is one of the pillars of the foundation. And all of the work that supportive housing does, and I love the coalition. If you really think about what they do, bringing people together to support homelessness. And what a great organization. I serve on the board of the Apartment Association with Steve. I've gotten to hear all of the amazing things that the group does. And so for WaFd Bank, it's just a no-brainer to support, getting people out of homelessness, but also helping them holistically.
I love that. Well said. Joshua Smith, WAPO, we're so glad that Washington Federal has stepped up and continued to provide not just the time and the talent that you bring to the board, but also the treasure that you put behind this effort today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you stepping up and supporting our courtrooms, C-O-R-T, that is court. And Josh, you look great to camera. The sun is shining, the rays are coming through. We don't see any flames. So we're pretty excited that we don't see any fire there.
We got the all clear. So I'm going to join you from inside here just in a moment.
All right. Well, you take your time. Be safe. We appreciate it. We're glad you're safe. Paul,
you.
I'm going to let you end this segment with us. Just tell us a little bit more, if you will. I know your family story and your deep connection here in our state and to all that is important when it comes to lifting up communities who are so often on the margins. Maybe you can just give us another thought or two about why Bank of America today stepped up as our largest sponsor, our presenting sponsor on this 25th anniversary of SHC.
Yeah, I'll circle back. Thank you, Brian, to responsible growth. Again, it has to do with not just coming into a community or belonging to a community and taking whatever you could get. We are part of the community. I was, of course, I was raised here. My family has deep roots here. We were just out at our old family place, 150 years ago, type of old family place that 2 weeks ago with my father, and my kids love those roots. So that's what we're doing. We have to deliver for not only our shareholders and our teammates who belong to our communities, but our communities themselves. So as I alluded to before, we do this through and touch on the housing in so many different ways, whether it is working with the developer to build some sort of housing development. Just recently, locally, we financed a development for Yes Housing, our good friend Chris Vaca and team. So we do that. And then we've got our mortgage assistance programs where we can provide down payment assistance or closing cost assistance. Got two fantastic programs that we've committed $15 billion towards these assistance programs, and so people can get $10,000 towards down payment assistance on a house, or $7,500 that can be used for closing costs. And so, helping those folks in the middle ground there that maybe just need a little hand up in getting into housing. And then, of course, for those that are either homeless or verge of homeless, maybe losing their home or their apartment, Supportive Housing Coalition, and helping families stay together, put that foundation in there that they can build on in order to advance the community and take steps forward. That's what we're about. And again, we appreciate the honor and of being the sponsor today, and all the other sponsors that have stepped up as well. Pat and I hope you saw I put in some money, and so I'm looking at my old place of work, Wells Fargo, for some matching funds, and then I'm going to run it through the Bank of America, and we've got matching funds. So really, my 250 will turn into 750, and I'll talk to Sandy if we could up that a little bit. So we'll let you know.
That is absolutely awesome. Way to go, Paul Mondragon. I got to tell you, Steve Ross wanted to come to camera and make sure that that he thanks you personally. And I see that Pat Nye has her hand up, so we're gonna spotlight Pat Nye from Wells Fargo. I think she's got some challenges to give back to Paul Mondragon. Take it away, Pat Nye.
Happy to see the support, Paul. And yeah, in our era of Zoom, of course, my connection dropped just as Brian, you were starting to say, let's let Pat make a few comments. And I'm like, no. So I was busy reconnecting. So thank you all again. And as Paul said, on behalf of Wells Fargo, we're very proud to be able to be a longtime supporter of Supportive Housing Coalition. Wells Fargo as a company has one of their pillars for philanthropy as housing affordability, and that's across the entire spectrum from homeless to transitional supportive home ownership. We have a special division within Wells Fargo, similar to Bank of America, that does financing for affordable housing developments. We're one of the largest providers of financing and equity in that space. So we're happy to be, like Paul, I'm a native New Mexican, and always happy to raise up the good work of organizations like Supportive Housing. And so please support Supportive Housing for their 10th anniversary today.
All right, Pat and I, well said, well played. And I just wanted you to make sure you knew that Paul, in case your connection wasn't really strong, Paul put out a little personal challenge to you and did it on the air. Like he's like calling you out front and center in front of the world, because we've now got this publicly streaming on Facebook. He put down 250. He's going to get it matched like 2 or 3 different ways, coming up with like 750, he and his family. And he gave you that personal challenge. Are Pat and I, are you able to step up with us? We're trying to get some matching funds. You might know about that program.
We have a similar program at Wells Fargo that if we provide contributions or volunteer time, that we can ask for grants to be made to nonprofits like Supportive Housing.
I think Pat's saying she's going to do a little bit of that, because she's going to put a little love in the bucket for SHC so it can serve its mission of providing supportive housing right here in New Mexico, our land of enchantment. So Pat and I, thank you so much for stepping up large. Paul, thank you for giving a great shout out to your former employer. You two are great leaders in our banking and housing sector here in New Mexico. You are the ones that allow us to lay that foundation for the work that's done by SHC. So thank you both very, very much. We're going to take this now over. I know Steve wanted me to bring him on so he could thank you both personally before I take your spotlights off. And then I'm going to just spotlight Steve and Mary, and they're going to tell us a little bit about our annual report.
Very good. Thanks, Brian. Great segue. And thank you, Paul. And thank you, Pat. And thanks, Josh, for your great testimonials. I don't think any of us could say anything better than you all did. And we appreciate all that you all do in this community, because it helps everybody. So with that, I'm happy to share with you our annual report. And as I mentioned before, Mary Perez, one of our board members who chairs our fundraising committee, she and I will do this in tandem. So as you see here with our annual report that we provide, The next slide, please. And this, by the way, is something that we try to make available to all of our donors, as well as what you're seeing today. So we'll be able to do that so you can actually get your own copy of this, either digitally or otherwise. Great shot here. You see the father and the two sons, great smiles. This is just a great testament to what happens when we're able to help those families experiencing homeless and provide permanent supportive housing. So you get a good first-hand look at those expressions. Next slide, please. So we're happy to share with you our mission. Of course, we've been talking about ending homelessness for good. But again, our mission, simply put, is really to provide permanent supportive and affordable housing to individuals and families throughout New Mexico experiencing homeless. And we're just delighted to be able to do that. And we couldn't do that, obviously, without both the executive leadership team. These are the folks that really kind of, that I try to serve, that you see here. Cherie Lopez, our Associate Executive Director, Laura Chavez, our Director of Community Housing, Lori Fabier, who you've already seen here on the screen. Cherie's on there as well, our Director of Development. And thanks, Lori and Valerie, her assistant, for really putting all this together. It takes a lot of work. And Charles Jocelyn, our Director of Housing Development and Asset Management. I know Charles is here on the on with us as well. But we couldn't do this without our volunteer board of directors who give their time, talent, and treasure. We've got a terrific board. You can see those folks there. And of course, Mary here today representing that board. Our board members are also here online as a testament to what we're doing. And I think we've even had some of them highlighted. You'll see some of the board members throughout the day as we share some videos with you. Next slide, please. So I wanted to just share with you really our values at SHC. And of course, the first, and not necessarily in any rank order, but it makes sense, home, where everyone deserves to live in a place that is permanent, safe, and secure. Belonging, a sense of community that comes from connections to family, neighbors, and friends. Empowerment, creating space and opportunities for personal choice and transformative growth. Integrity, everyone who walks through our door is worthy of dignity, respect, and our best efforts. And last but not least, impact, achieving our mission through proven practices and collaborative partnerships. And I might just add, with support from the folks you've already heard from, but everybody who's on today and all those who support us. The next slide, please. So, I'm just happy to share here, you see our Securia Asbury, who's one of our board members. You'll be hearing from her today as well, and her family. She's got a great story to tell, and I won't go any further with that. But you can also see, in terms of the impact and how many people that we actually provide support for in getting housed, and the way that comes about with 832 households served in 3 counties. Over 1,100 people are housed. We're really proud of the fact that 92% maintain housing stability. 76%, as you see there, have reported improved health. 78% reported feeling more safe and secure, which is extremely important in getting somebody housed, but also in keeping people housed. And lastly, you see reported increased life satisfaction of 80%. So these are things that we're really happy of. And we couldn't do this without a great staff. SHC is blessed, and we've got our staff on today as well. And I want to thank each and every one of them, because they're really the folks that drive this. They're the backbone, and they do the great work that keep people housed and help them sustain their housing. And as you see there too, that we do this through our tenant-based rental assistance, which is Housing First Individuals, Housing First Families, Community Connections, and our Leakages program that we do in Gallup. And then our apartment communities in permanent supportive housing, housing for people with disabilities, and affordable housing. So those are the complexes that we have here in Albuquerque, and one in Gallup and one in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Next slide, please. So I won't spend a lot of time on these pie charts, but I just want to signal out that the lion's share of what drives our revenue, of course, are our contracts that we have with the city, with the Fed, and also with the state. And then you can also see the expenses, and the majority of our expenses go to direct support to our beneficiaries. In other words, the individuals and families that are being housed is where most of our expenses go. But I also want to give a tip out to the private support part, because we couldn't do this without you all participating and making this possible. So private support is critical for us to continue and to go forward. Next slide, please. Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to have Mary will do a little bit to introduce our donor appreciation video. We'll have that and we'll come back to you after that.
Good morning.
Mary, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. We'd like to take a moment to share a brief video to thank all who have supported our mission in 2020, including our funding partners, service partners, and donors.
Very good. Thank you all again for the great support that we've received from everybody in the community, from our board, from our staff, for our great sponsors that are here today. And this is now a great segue for us to share with you the 25th anniversary. As you see, we are celebrating 25 years as an organization. Initially, when we got started, our work was committed to developing low-income housing projects, those of which we own and or manage today. But that was our starting point. And that's really how we got established, was a need from a lot of partner agencies we work with today that saw that what was missing was the permanent supportive housing piece. So that's how we got created. Then years later, we got into the voucher program and the contracts that we have with the city and the state and with HUD that helps those individuals through their vouchers to then get housed throughout the community. And we work with some 150 landlords, some of whom have joined us today and support us. In addition to helping us get people housed, they also donate to us. And we're just delighted to have that kind of partnership as well. But it's just great to be able to celebrate 25 years with our organization. Now we own, manage, and provide supportive services to 336 housing units throughout New Mexico, as well as the hundreds of vouchers that I just mentioned a minute ago. So anyway, happy to be celebrating 25 years. If you see behind me, the terracotta brick road that you heard Brian talking about. So this gives you a nice visual, and I'm going to let Mary share a little bit about what we're doing with our brick campaign. So to you, Mary.
So to recognize our donors in 2021, we're launching our 25th anniversary brick campaign. This year, your support becomes permanent with a commemorative brick that will be installed in our downtown at 700 Second apartments. There are different bricks for different giving levels, starting at $250, and we hope you'll be a part of this great effort by donating today. I just want to say quickly that my husband Larry and I donated a brick in behalf of his first wife, and we feel really good about that. She would have been really happy with that. Thanks.
Thanks, Mary. So back to you, Brian, and onward with our engagement with everybody today in support of SHC.
That is awesome. Well done, well done, well done. And I just am thrilled. Great presentation. I appreciate you very much, and great job on that, especially as we get ready to lay down those bricks on the terracotta road to serving the mission of making sure that the Supportive Housing Coalition gets to serve that mission for another 25 years. We are thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. So way to go. I may, honor a family member, honor a friend. I was thinking maybe I would honor Lynn Troyon, who's already stepped up with a contribution today to support this effort, because she was the very first person to ever talk to me about the power of laying a brick. And she had me do that with one of the great organizations she has supported in her journey in philanthropy and connecting people by giving them invitations to allow their resources to flow to their passion points. And I hope that today you will allow your resources to flow to the Supportive Housing Coalition and join Aleli and me in supporting 25 years of awesome impact here in the state of New Mexico. So for those of you that just tuning in to Cafecito con Colón, man, it has been a great morning. We are here to celebrate the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico at their annual Coming and Welcome Home event. You can text right now, you can text some support to 44321. Just text home for good. Home, the number 4, and then good to 44321. Now this morning, I've got some great folks with me. We've already featured these folks, but I'm going to bring them back. So I got to find the little spotlight feature here. I'm finding and looking for Lori Frappier, who is the director who gives opportunities to folks to allow their resources to flow to their passion points. And she is here with us today. She's going to talk to us a little bit. I got to find Leroy, because Leroy and Court have done an amazing. I'd never seen this before, Lori, but you all in Court came up with this great initiative to allow folks to sponsor resources for homes and bedrooms. And it's just really beautiful. So I'm gonna find, why don't you go ahead and get started, Lori? And because I know this is the 3rd year in the row that Court has stepped up large to work with you. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to find Leroy. I know he's here somewhere. What a great guy. But I want you to get started, and we'll bring Leroy to screen here in just a second.
No problem. Thanks so much. So we are really excited about this partnership we have with Court Furniture. They have been just incredible. This is their 3rd year in a row that they have donated 3 rooms, different rooms, a kitchen set, like a dining set, a living room and bedroom that people can bid on in the silent auction. Now, they're previously rented, because Court does rental furniture for the most part. They're previously rented, but they're in great shape. And the unique part about this is that people can actually bid on them, and it can be like a double the donation, right? So we benefit from having the funds, but our participants benefit if you donate the furniture back, and Court will deliver it directly to a newly housed family or individual. So we just love this partnership with Court. They've been, since our inaugural event 3 years ago, they've been on board with us, and we're very pleased to have them with us.
That is awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you so much. I know that I was able to find Leroy. Leroy, good morning. You're looking angelic, and it's angelic because Court is an angel to SHC of New Mexico. You have stood tall for a trifecta of years. This is your 3rd year in a row for helping supply these essentials and outfitting these rooms. Tell us a little bit why this is important to you. And then I think we have maybe another video coming up, Lori. So I'll let you get that all prepped for us. But Leroy, take it away from Court. And I'm going to have you unmute because I can read your lips, but our guest can't.
Well, I sound much better on mute. But anyway, we are, Court is thrilled to be a part of this great organization. And Todd Schell, who's the director of our supportive housing program within Court, had reached out to Lori and Steve a few years ago to see how we could partner and be help support the SHC mission in ending homelessness. So once again, we're thrilled to be a part of it. It's a lot of fun knowing that we're able to provide good quality furniture to a family that's in need. And so we hope you'll get in there and donate. We'll bid on the furniture, and yes, as Lori already mentioned, we will deliver it to the families that are in need. And our guys get a great kick out of doing that.
I love that. When I come back after the video, Leroy, I want you to tell us a little bit more. Not everybody knows about Court and their great presence in our community. So we might talk just another minute about that after this video. Lori, take it away.
All right.
I work for SHC because I do believe in the work that we do to end homelessness for good through affordable, permanent, and supportive housing.
I volunteer for SHC because I believe in ending homelessness for good.
I believe that every person deserves to live in a safe and stable home.
By providing permanent housing, we're doing just that.
Housing is the key to ensuring that people can have stability and access what they need to ensure their safety and overall well-being.
Housing is crucial for families to access food, education, employment, transportation, childcare, healthcare, and other services, all needs that are nearly impossible to meet when experiencing homelessness.
SHC mission to end homelessness means that the people that we house have a safe place to call their own.
Thank you so much to Court Furniture for donating 3 rooms of furniture for our Welcome Home silent auction. If you bid on a room, you will have the option to keep the furniture for your own use or donate back to SHC for us to give to a newly housed individual or family.
We would love for you to consider donating during our Welcome Home event. Your donation will go to a very good cause, and it will make a huge impact every day in our own community.
To bid on any of our auction items, including our furniture donated by Court, you can visit our website, shcnm.org/welcomehome.
Best laid plans. Should I do that again?
You know what? Just give us a couple minutes. Give us another minute on the front end of that. I want folks to see this actually was filmed thanks to Court. We actually filmed it on site. And so I want folks to see what a beautiful facility and how warmly they received us as we're serving the mission of SHC. Lori, take it away again.
All right, here we go. That was funny.
There you go.
I work for SHC because I do believe in the work that we do to end homelessness for good through affordable, permanent, and supportive housing.
I volunteer for SHC because I believe in ending homelessness for good.
I believe that every person deserves to live in a safe and stable home.
By providing permanent housing, we're doing just that.
Housing is the key to ensuring that people can have stability and access what they need to ensure their safety and overall well-being.
Housing is crucial for families to access food, education, employment, transportation, childcare, healthcare, and other services, all needs that are nearly impossible to meet when experiencing homelessness.
SHC mission to end homelessness means that the people that we house have a safe place to call their own.
Thank you so much to Court Furniture for donating 3 rooms of furniture for our Welcome Home silent auction. If you bid on a room, you will have the option to keep the furniture for your own use or donate back to SHC for us to give to a newly housed individual or family.
We would love for you to consider donating during our Welcome Home event. Your donation will go to a very good cause, and it will make a huge impact every day in our own community.
To bid on any of our auction items, including our furniture donated by Court, you can visit our website, shcnm.org/welcomehome.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Leroy, one sentence. Why does Court do what it does with SHC?
Well, we are thrilled with the mission that SHC is involved in ending homelessness. And, we're just happy to be a part of it. Furniture doesn't make a home, people do. And but furniture helps. So we're just we're hoping you go in, you bid on the furniture today, and then turn that bid over to SHC so we can deliver it to a family and make it feel comfortable, and that you know, they'll begin to enjoy their lives safely.
Thank you, Leroy. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate Court's partnership with SHC for more than 10% of their 25 years serving New Mexico and its mission. So with that, Lori, I know we've got some other great items in the silent auction. I think you can bid on lunch with the state auditor, and I know he's buying, so make sure you bid that up. Lori,
Am I sharing the correct screen is what I need to know. Yes, good, okay. So here's a closer look at some of the furniture. The bedroom set, it also includes bed linens. Here's the couch. It also comes with tables, and they threw in bathroom accessories, which is very cool. Somebody's not on mute. We also, here's the dining set that also comes with a full range of kitchen accessories to go with that. We're talking plates, placemats, coffee maker. Leroy, you can jump in whenever.
It's got everything. It's got the coffee maker, toaster, all the plates, silverware, placemats, glasses,
Yep.
pots and pans to cook with. The bathroom comes with all the towels, shower curtain, everything you need in the bathroom. And then, of course, the linens with the bed. That living room set also comes with a sofa that has an accent chair, coffee table, end table, lamp. So you'll be well set.
Yep. So some other great items we have for the business community. We're looking at a half-page print ad from Albuquerque Business First. They're very generous donation for that. Also in the silent auction, we have jewelry. This is an example of the jewelry we have from Romero Jewelers. Sterling silver cuff, amazing piece. We have several wine packages, which, and you will have to fight me for this one. This is a membership to the 1629 Club at Casa Rondena. And of course, lunch with the state auditor, Brian Colon.
All right, Lori, well done. So I'm going to have you sit back, folks, just for a moment here, and we're getting ready to wrap up today's phenomenal opportunity for you to make a difference with the Supportive Housing Coalition. Leroy, thanks to you, and thanks to Court for stepping up large in such a very special way to provide those furnishings as we provide supportive housing in New Mexico through SHC. Thank you, Leroy. You are appreciated.
Absolutely.
Folks, you've got the links, folks. It's all in the chat. Valerie Chavez has done a great job of letting you know how you can support this event. We've heard from SHC about their work. We've heard from our sponsors about why they do what they do. Why do they step up in that very significant way financially? I mean, there's lots of options, but they've stepped up to stand with SHC. So now it's time, if you haven't done so already, we're trying to raise $10,000 today. And I'm asking you, Dr. Lang, thank you for saying yes. Lynn, thank you for saying yes. So many folks I see in the chat there are saying yes, and I'm grateful. But if you haven't stepped up yet, I want to show you a video that really, it certainly touches me, and I think it will touch you. Shakira is a board member who's got an incredible journey, because she's also an SHC housing participant, and we're going to have her tell her story now.
My name is Shakira Asbury. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm a single mother of 4 teenagers. Before I was housed, I was homeless for 13 months, and I lived in my car. 3 of my children still lived with my grandparents, but my youngest son, he lived with me, and he roughed it out with me. When I was living in my car for those 13 months, I was hungry for the first time. I had very little gas, but I didn't want to sit anywhere or stay somewhere too long, or that I needed to save the gas so I could get my son to school. It was just a lot. Without a home, you have no foundation. When I was homeless, I was lost. No routine, no structure, no scheduling here or there. You don't have an alarm clock waking you up to make sure that you're on time. No charger for your phone. You can't run your car. You don't have nowhere to get ready at. It was a struggle, but at the same time, it was a blessing to me because it made me who I am. The homeless people now, like I see them on the streets, and me and my kids, we feed them. I have no extra blankets right now because it was cold this winter, and I gave out every extra blanket I had. Every day, if I had a blanket, I put a blanket in my car. If I seen somebody, I gave it out. The foundation to success is stable housing. You don't have to worry about where you're gonna lay your head at tonight, or if we stay over here, is my kid gonna be safe, or are they gonna steal my stuff? SHC responded to the immediate need of my housing unit because of the size of my family pretty quickly. We were supposed to move somewhere else first. A couple houses had fell through. So I didn't really tell the kids about here until I knew it was official. And so when I told them I got the key, I was like, well, we're moving. And they're like, we're moving. I'm like, yeah, I got the key. And they're all excited. So with nothing in here, no furniture, nowhere to stay, they didn't care. They just wanted to be in their own space. Can we stay here tonight? Can we stay here tonight? So they moved their beds in my car overnight, that night, so they could stay here the first night. If I could give advice to anyone to get through life, or if I could just touch anybody in one room, across the world, off rooftops, it would be to never give up. As hard as it may seem, and as low as you might be, don't give up, to keep the faith. Without SHC, I don't know where my family would be. They opened my eyes to a lot of things. The way they loved and gave love, I want to give that back. For if any one of them ever asked me to do anything, I can't tell them no. That's how I ended up joining the board. I'm forever grateful for them, and I just want to say thank you for helping families like mine, because you people are great.
Well, if that doesn't touch you, the heartfelt words of Shakira, I want to encourage you to check your pulse, because I'm not sure you're with us. I think what I love most about that story, and I'm grateful to SHC for allowing this to happen, is that you can see the dignity in Shakira and her children. And that dignity was empowered by her ability to give back and to serve with the board of the Supportive Housing Coalition. So I just want to validate, I want to applaud that model that you've embraced, to allow her to do that and to allow her to help tell the story about the mission and impact of the work of the Supportive Housing Coalition. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. I want to bring some folks back. I want to bring Paul back. I want to bring back Lori, maybe Mary. Where's Mary? Mary, you still with us, right? Sweet Mary, where'd you go? Mary, if you raise your hand.
I just took a drink.
Of course you did. Of course you did. I'm going to go get, you finish your drink. I'm going to go get Pat Nye. Why don't I do that? I'm going to get Pat Nye. And then Mary, you finish your drink. And I'm sure it's just coffee because it's Cafecito con Colon today. Mary E. Perez bringing the heat, drinking her coffee. And now she's in the spotlight. So there's some great folks. I just want to open up the floor for questions, either for our guests that are here with us on Zoom today. If you raise your hand, I think we'll be able to see them. I'm going to leave these folks spotlighted. I'm going to stay in the background as I clear my tears, because I'm not crying, you're crying. I just got to tell you, I've watched Shakira's video a couple times, but the end doesn't lose its strength for me. And I guess it's because of what I said earlier, is this is an issue that hits very personally for me. And I'm grateful to each and every one of these folks who have stepped up to serve the mission of the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico. So folks, will you join me today? Will you step up? Will you write that check? Will you go online? Will you make a pledge? We need your help. We need your help. And I'm going to ask you to join these folks today. Maybe are there some questions there in the chat, folks, that we can give to our team here? Paul, you doing okay over there? And Pat and I?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, just feeling Shakira's story, and yeah, just brings it home. Thank you, Brian, for sharing your story as well. I think it's important that people see, you know, they see you today and all the great work you do, and you know, your position as a great human being first, but you know, in society, but you know, they may not know that backstory, and it's important to know that people, you know, to provide sort of that light at the end of the tunnel, that people can get out of their current circumstances. So thank you.
You are very welcome. Very welcome. Any other thoughts? Pat and I, how are you doing? Did you get your drink? You all refreshed?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Trying to stay on mute for a puppy dog that is speaking up. But I think, like Paul says, Shakira's story is a reminder of how foundational housing stability is to families. It makes a huge difference to have that piece.
And that's really the difference, right? It's not like you hand them the set of keys and you walk away. You are providing that supportive transition to housing. And maybe Steve, you can talk a little bit about that, or Lori, who does such a great job of connecting people's resources with their passion points. I think it's important to really kind of, your model's a little different, and maybe that's why it's had that staying power for 25 years. Can we talk about that a little bit? As you got that terracotta brick road behind you, folks, step up and buy a brick. If you haven't bought a brick, the time is now. Make it happen. Steve.
Make it happen. Yes, exactly. I mean, you know, and I want to thank some of the people that have stepped up, including you, Brian, and some of the others that we know here today, and Paul as well, because you're going to have this great terracotta brick road that you heard earlier about. That's going to be at our downtown property. And in fact, Brian, I already have a brick down there that I've pledged, that I've already supported, but I'm going to add another one today. I want to add another brick, and I'm going to throw this out here because based on Shakira's story and others that we help, the other thing is I want to be able to put on that brick to express some of these great families that are doing great. And so that's one of the things I'm going to do is add another brick, and we'll figure out how we want to put what message we want to put on there is what I'm trying to get through as I fumble through that one. But the other thing I did want to mention that we didn't say at all is just we're also a volunteer agency in the sense that we recruit a lot of volunteers, not just from our board, but we have volunteers that come together that do all kinds of great things, whether it's doing some landscaping project at one of our properties or helping out in some other capacity. There's a variety of things that volunteers bring to the agency, and we've got some of our volunteer leaders that do that are on this call today with us. So I just wanted to do a shout out to volunteers, because volunteers are key to any organization. They're certainly key to us. I wanted to share that.
That's right. And you know, Simon Sinek sent me an email this morning. He said, the goal of life is not to have our lives mean something to ourselves. The goal of life is to have our lives mean something to others. And Steve, your life means something to me and all the homes and families that you touch here in the state of New Mexico with your incredible work. Lori, you have a couple thoughts for us as we get ready to land this plane. Pat and I is applauding Steve virtually. Thank you for that, Pat. And we'll come to you here in a second, Mary, and we'll close out with Paul Mondragon. And thanks to all our volunteers. Steve, thank you for putting that out there. If you want to volunteer with SHC New Mexico, feel free to reach out, send an email. Everybody's going to read the chat online, Facebook, and here. So feel free to put a note in there. I want to volunteer. But this morning, we got to get that other $5,000. So I need you to donate. Step up. We got to raise 10 grand this morning. We're going to do it. Lori, you got some final thoughts as we get ready to land this plane? It's 10:08. We got another 7 minutes to go, and we're going to close out strong this morning.
Sounds
Lori,
great. Oh my gosh. So, you know, you guys, this is, you know, what we do is really about the cornerstone of everybody's life. Think about your home. Think about what it allows you to do. Being able to have your coffee in your own kitchen in the morning, being able to sleep in your own bed, get the rest that you need, get the, you know, be able to get dressed and shower and go to work or look for work. You know, having a home is the the basis for everything that we do. So when we come together and support this mission, you're helping people stay homed. You're helping people who are been experiencing homelessness get housed. You're helping people who couldn't afford living anywhere else live in an affordable apartment. So this is what we do, and do it without you. We need you to help bridge that gap between what we get to manage what we do and actually operate. So this is critical. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori Frappier. She is the one that invites folks to step up and give, and we're glad you do it. Lori, you do a beautiful job. Pat and I, talk to us a little bit about Wells Fargo and its deep commitment to providing supportive housing, and why you support the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico. Take it away, Pat.
Yes, thank you, Brian. As we've stated before, and we've heard many testimonials here, housing affordability is so important to our community, especially in the times we've been experiencing, to help families be successful, to help our communities be successful. I've been in the community development business for quite a few years and have always stepped up to support supportive housing and other affordable housing organizations because I see the stories like Shakira, they come to fruition. And I think that's so important that we are helping all segments of our community. It's just important to have a vibrant, successful community.
Thank you so much, Pat and I. Thank you, Pat and I of Wells Fargo. Thank you, Chris Larrañaga, to step up with a pledge. Lala, love that cover photo you put up last night at White Sands. You look terrific. And thank you for stepping up and supporting the Supportive Housing Coalition. Let's talk a little bit more with Mary E. Perez and maybe your last thoughts as we wrap up this 25th anniversary celebration. And folks can text 44321, home for good. Home, the number 4, good, to 44321. Mary E. Perez.
I just want to thank everybody for supporting us. We partner with the Supportive Housing Coalition by providing community supports, case management, and these are families that housing makes such a huge difference. How can you take care of your mental health, your physical health, any of that, if you're living in a park and you don't even have appropriate hygiene, and that's really become even more an issue during COVID. So I just want to thank everyone for your support. We all have, my husband and I have very personal reasons for supporting this group. We feel like it's a really good thing to do, and it's not just giving somebody $5, it's ongoing regular support so you can maintain housing and have a life. And I just feel like that everyone should have that opportunity. Thanks, Brian.
Mary E. Perez, that's that wraparound services we were talking about. Thank you for highlighting that, underscoring. Chris Larrañaga in the chat asked a little bit about that. So thank you for addressing it. Make sure you volunteer. Make sure you step up and put a contribution in there. You can even mail it. We're going to put the address in the chat there to mail your contribution to SHCNM. You're going to text this morning, 44321, home for good. That's home, the number 4 and good. If you give at least $100, let me know in the chat on Facebook or send an email to Lori Frappier, and she will make sure that I get you one of these limited editions, very, very priceless, at least in my humble opinion, priceless, because this has been my extrovert therapy now for 13 months. Each of you on Cafecito con Colón, we've been able to shine a spotlight on things that are going on in our community that are super positive. And you can't have a conversation about super positive, impactful organizations if you're not talking about the Supportive Housing Coalition. So with that, I want to just give an opportunity to Lori, and then we'll our title sponsor, who's matching up to $5,000. We want to get some word out of them too. So we want to make sure that we want to get all that out of Wells Fargo. Thank you, Pat and I, for that. And then I think we'll close with, unless Lori's got some different direction from me, we're going to close with our presenting sponsor. Thank you, Wells Fargo. We're going to get all 5,000 of those $1 bills from you, okay? So send the carriage with the horses over to the Supportive Housing Coalition with that $5,000, and it can travel over on the terracotta road that's laid with the bricks by our sponsors today. And Lori, I'll let you pass it over to Paul and land the plane today.
All right. I'm not sure what to do except say thank you, Paul.
That's all you got to do.
Okay.
When in doubt, offer up a little gratitude. Because let me just say, when I'm doing these events for these important organizations, people like you and Steve Ross, who lead these organizations, it's time and time again that folks are stepping up and having to say thank you to some of the same players. It's folks like Pat and it's folks like Paul. Paul, hermano Mondragón, gracias por venir. Gracias por todo. Háblame, hermano.
Thank you, Brian. Really, again, appreciate the opportunity to do this. Thank you for your hosting this event today. Thank you, Shakira, for your story today. I'd like to thank the other sponsors, Pat bringing $5,000. Like I said, I'm putting some in, so we'll get Wells Fargo to match, and then I'll get my bank to match, and so we'll get covered that way. Thank you, Josh. And I saw Michelle joined from WAFED, another great financial partner in the community. We battle it out, for the customers, but when it comes to supporting the community, Wells Fargo, WAFED, Bank of America, we're all happy to work together. Thanks to PNM, saw Lori there, and I saw that Becky Teague is actually on the board of Supportive Housing Coalition. So Becky also with PNM, great job to you guys. And then of course, Court, thank you for bringing the furniture and all the goods to help people's, as they move into the supportive housing, they have great stuff to use and live with. So thank you, Leroy, for that. Gratitude all around.
Gratitude all the way around. Speaking of which, let's take that down. Let's make sure all that information's in the chat there. And look at all these great folks. These are all the great folks who stood up today to say, yes, the Supportive Housing Coalition, SHC&M matters. It makes a difference in our community to provide supportive housing. Thank you, Leroy and Court. Thank you to PNM. Thank you to all our great title sponsors. Josh Smith, you look good. I'm glad your building's not on fire. I'm glad you're safe and sound. I think even Shakira was tuned in. Is that you, Shakira? Give us a wave. Shakira, can I come to you for just a second? I think I want to spotlight you. Can I do that, Shakira? Give me a thumbs up. Do you mind? All right. Folks, look at Shakira. There's our superstar, the video of the day, the person who went from homelessness to service on the board of the Supportive Housing Coalition. Shakira, we love you. We're proud of you. You inspired me. You touched my heart with your beautiful children. Thank you for what you do. All right, we got a good thumbs up there from Shakira. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we have got to get this done. Please text 44321, home, the number 4, and good. Thank you to Janelle and Laura and Cherie and all the team members at the Supportive Housing Coalition who made this possible. Lori, I love your background. You're looking good in double time there. Thank you, because PNM always puts in twice the effort, just like your virtual background and you being with us. Samantha Kimball, Greg, Shakira, Michelle, Laura, Sylvia, Linda, Charles, Alicia. Thanks to everybody who tuned in today on this episode of Cafecito con Colon. We'll do it again. Let's make sure we get every one of those $5,000. Bid on the silent auction items. We'll have a great lunch if you bid on the auction with Brian Colon. That's me, your humble servant and state auditor. It's a privilege and pleasure to serve as your state auditor, but it grows my heart to lean in to phenomenal organizations like the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico. Thank you, Steve Ross. Thank you, Lori. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks to everybody at SHC&M. Steve, give the final word and we're going to sign off for today.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Cafecito con Colon. Gracias. And let's bring in the money. Help to everybody so we can get more people housed and stabilized. Thank you. Thanks to all our supporters.
Thank you, everybody. Lori and the team at SHC, let's make sure we pull down that chat and save it so that we can make sure and reach out to all those folks that want to engage with SHC&M. Have a great day. God bless each and every one of you. My name is Brian Colon. It's been a privilege to host you today. Bye-bye.
You'll never walk alone, brother.
You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Paul. Love you.